Hey everybody, this is Captain Orlando Muniz with Nomad Fishing Charters. And before we begin with today's fishing report, I wanted to thank all of you that have taken the time to subscribe to the channel, and those of you that are leaving comments and engaging with the channel. I really appreciate that. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you enjoy this fishing report or any other video, please hit that like button. And last but not least, if you want to get notifications when these videos are up and available for you, make sure you hit the little bell there for your notifications. Just activate that and you'll get those notifications. Let's dive right into the fishing. This week it's been pretty breezy for most of the week. Out here in the Miami area where we fish, fishing has generally been pretty slow. It's kind of changing. We're getting into that spring fishing, but it's not quite here yet. The bite has actually been really good off to the north around Palm Beach. Some really good catches up there this week. Hopefully those fish will start to trickle down to the south towards us, and we'll get in on the action here, in the next week or two. As far as the fishing goes, I fished last weekend and it was very slow. We had to work very hard for some bites, and the bites were not exactly spectacular. Earlier in the week I was out, same thing. It was kind of slow. We had to work hard. Art, my co-captain, was out a few days ago with some customers. Somebody got sick. It was a little rough. Came inshore, fish, same thing. It's kind of been a repetitive theme here. Yesterday the wind started to die down a little bit. So today we had another trip with one of our repeat customers. We went out. First thing in the morning, we had good bait. We set up a drift, made a nice long drift, and I think we had one bite from a shark, which was not good, not a good way to start the day. We ran north to another spot, worked that for a little bit, no action there. Came back to the south, we hit a couple deep spots. We caught a nice big amberjack, which it's nice to see that they're showing up, and there have been more amberjack lately. So it looks like they're starting to move into the deeper wrecks, anywhere from I would say from 200 to 400 feet. Any of those structures there usually hold some amberjack, some more than others. If you're looking for amberjack, what I suggest you do is that you go, from wreck to wreck and just kind of motor around, see if you can mark them on your machine, if you have a good bottom machine. If you do mark them, chances are they're there. Send down a nice big live bait. Crank it up off the bottom a little bit, 15, 20 feet, and just hold on, because they will eat your bait, especially if you have something like a pinfish or grunt, a blue runner. Those are things that they like. We use circle hooks, and it works really well. The last part of our day today, we ended up coming in a little shallower. We decided to try something different since we weren't having much luck with everything else. So we came in a little shallower in about 80, 90 feet. We anchored up, we started chumming, and we started picking away at the yellowtails. They weren't huge as far as yellowtail go, but they were quite nice for Miami standards, 14, 15, 16-inch fish. Some of them were nicer than others, but we did catch mostly legal fish. I think we had one throwback. We caught one mutton snapper towards the end of our trip there. So, we made a day of it. The fish were a little finicky. The current was light. All this week we've had very light currents. Today there was a little current offshore, I would say, from ranging anywhere from half a knot to 1.5 knots, a little deeper. So, there is some water movement. It's not great, but there is a little bit of current. So like I said, we were able to do a little bottom fishing for the yellowtail. We anchored up current of the structure, just put the chum in the water, started working it, and we started picking away at them. We lost a few fish to sharks and barracudas, and we got about, dozen and a half past them and in the boat. The fish were a little skittish. They weren't biting really close to the boat. We had to let out quite a bit of line to catch them, and we were also fishing straight 12-pound test. No leader, no nothing, just a small hook and straight 12. So they were a little skittish, but we were getting the bites and we were making them count. So that's all that really matters. As far as the bait situation, bait has been a little tough. we had a bunch of bait stored from last month, and we've kind of worked through that bait. And last couple of days, it's been tough for us to get bait. Yesterday, we went out in the afternoon and caught some threadfin herring. But again, the bite was not good. We had to pick at them. We got maybe a couple dozen, which is not much. And we couldn't really time our trip. It was kind of like a impromptu trip. So we were able to get some there this morning, and it was enough to, put a day together. But the bait's been a little on the tough side, especially pilchards. They're kind of hard to find unless, you're up north or something like that. There's some in the bay and the intercoastal there. The fishing should continue to improve. We're getting closer and closer to spring, or actually spring has already started. And there's a few catches here and there that kind of have a resemblance of spring. There's been some really large kingfish caught. No big numbers, just a few here and there, 20, 30 pounders. They're starting to show up. There's been some yellowfin tunas caught up and down the line from the Keys all the way up to Palm Beach. Yesterday, someone caught one that was over 100 pounds. Last week, a buddy of mine caught one up in Palm Beach about 140. I heard of another guy that caught one solo about, same thing, about 130, 140. That was pretty impressive because he was by himself on the boat at the time. So that's quite the feat. So you never know. It's just a matter of putting your baits in the water and waiting them out. This weekend, the weather should be much nicer. Tomorrow, we're going to have light winds. I believe it's southeast winds. I think they're calling for like 10, 12 knots, something like that. So it's a nice breeze, something that you could really fish to. It's not too calm. There is such a thing as too calm. I really don't like those doldrum days. But we're going to have a little bit of, looks like a little bit of current, a little bit of wind. So hopefully the fishing will pick up. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Until next time, my name is Captain Orlando Muniz with Nomad Fishing.